What is up, guys? I didn't set that one up too properly, but hey, how's it going? This is One Knife Paul, and I'm here with my brother in arms, Riley, and it's the Knivesmen back at you, and we are going to be covering a fun little topic today. We're going to be talking about some how do we
Impulsive
word
buy.
this? Yeah, tactfully. I was like impulsive buying, and the hype attached to some of this stuff. So I guess we can start off as usual with the old dump ski. I'm coming to you live from my front porch today. Still working on the spare room, so I'm just gonna go first because I got this set up. Carrying today, we got the Mudmaster still on NATO, and in the pocket we've got all reliable. Seems to be my one and only right now is the M4 carbon fiber bug out. And let's go and see what Mr. Riley has in store.
What's going on? Don't have my watch on right now because I'm about to mess around in the yard again, digging up a bunch of crap. So, was wearing my Citizen Navajo ProMaster, which is pretty much what I wear on the weekends. Wallet, Travax Ascent, good little minimalist wallet. Use the can in the background apparently. Damn, man, I can't remember naming anything today. The Surefire Stiletto. Got that guy on me. And wherever my knife is, I have a slip joint on me somewhere. Oh, right here. The Uno Trapper, 300 layer ripple Damascus. Gift for my wife.
Yeah, the fancy one from what, last year, 2021 special one. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's got the maple burl dyed blue.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. The blue and gold.
Yeah, I love the patterns on that side.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I've got my pouch around me. I haven't been having it, but oh yeah, I wanted to show you that. I mean, you
Oh yeah,
Black micarta pouch. And yeah, there's a bunch of the crow stickers on there, but I mean, patches. But for now, still collecting.
So. Oh yeah. It takes a while to get a good amount of Ranger eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're very popular.
Yeah, the foam ones are hard to get. So
yeah,
especially a little rabbit hole that we all go into constantly.
Yes.
I know another guy's got one of these, but I don't know how he got it. I think he stole it.
Anyway. Yeah, she's on my knife case.
Nice.
Yeah, my pouch. I want to apologize to anybody commenting right now on Facebook or any other platform. I'm going to try to pay attention to it. I'm on my phone today instead of the computer as I am doing work, I said. So it is sorry, it's harder for me to get in there and check this stuff, right? So bear with me. New way of doing it here for today. Anyway, we wanted to get into we were talking about the impulse buys. Riley and I were chatting during the week, and he was going on, check this out, check out what I got. And that's when it just dawned on me. I was like, he's done this so many times. So why don't we talk about how impulse buys go in the knife community, and attached to that, obviously, hype, because it's all around us all the time. The temptations are there. We all fall victim to hype, and sometimes the hype leads to the impulse buy because it's in stock, I won't be able to get it again for X amount of time or ever again because it's a limited run. And that leads to that impulse buy, right? Even though the hype was there. Sometimes it's not even, but that's it. Sprint runs, limited edition runs, they have a lot of
for buying more knives.
Well, that's right. It has a lot of a lot of dirty behind it, essentially, because suddenly we're broke for the month, right? Hey Mark, how are we doing? Glad you're tuning in. They all seem to love your pouch, bro.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Everybody's loving that pouch. Need a pouch like that. Yep. So yeah, we want to start with impulse buys. I don't have a lot on me. I've been slowly moving a lot of my collection. So guys, if you've seen me posting pictures with knives or whatever gear that you are interested in, it doesn't hurt to hit me up and message me and see if it's for sale. Just kind of exploring different aspects of EDC right now, and that's me. But I've got a couple on the table. But I know Riley might have a few more. A few more impulse buys that he's gone through, and maybe he can tell us the goods and bads of a lot of them, because we get good and bad. We get buyer's remorse sometimes, and then we turn around and love it. Like I immediately got buyer's remorse with the Mudman, but the longer I've had it, I'm like, holy crap, it hasn't left my wrist since the other show we've done. The first show I showed it. So that was an impulse buy for me at that point, even though I was like research, and I was like, it's the right time. And I dove in. I absolutely love the watch. Right. So there's an impulse buy, a watch. Right. Yeah. I started it off. What say you, Mr. Riley? What say you on the topic?
I mean, I'm more of an impulsive buyer than most, I think. And I've always, something's got to be aesthetically appealing to me, or unique. Of
course, yeah.
And there are a lot of times that I have went after limited things, or, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times you end up with stuff that's really good and stuff that's like, that's a little bit less than what I was expecting. And sometimes, I mean, you can end up, truly disappointed. And a lot of times it's like things like pre-orders. You can get on a pre-order, which I have one in right now.
Those are tough, especially if it wasn't a version of a knife or something that you haven't held before. Those are really risky at times.
And speaking of that, pre-order, Urban EDC 5.5, designed by Jesper Voxnes. Good knife, great knife. I like it. I like the sailor style of it. Rocky boat. You can't really stab yourself as easily.
Always the sheep's foot, and the sheep's foot is an excellent blade shape. I think a lot of people agree.
Yeah, I mean, and this one turned out good. It was nicely done. I think Rayot made them. But I mean, and not to badmouth the company at all. But there are times that people, and this was at the beginning of my collecting, I think. More at the beginning of my collecting. I bought this knife, and I just didn't pay attention to the specs. And it was a lot smaller than I thought. And and I've come to learn, if something says micro, they mean it.
Yeah.
Nice little knife. And I do carry it from time to time, but I carry it more to lesson.
sorry, what is that one?
This is the HMC Hellion Machine Collective micro transient, I think.
I love the name of the company.
Hellion Machine Collective.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, HMC. But yeah, and the guy makes amazing knives. He does. And I wanted one, and I was like, I'll never be able to afford, one of his really nice, full custom. And I just didn't pay attention to the specs, because it's tiny.
That is very tiny. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another one that's almost in the same exact realm,
that one essentially was the definition of impulse buy, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Van X Steel.
Yeah.
Quiet Carry Waypoint. And these things sell out so fast.
That's a nice looking knife, though.
Yeah, it is. It's a but it's not like, it's a good hydraulic, motion to it. It's nice and smooth. I like it. Yeah. It's a good knife, and it cuts good. It slices it. I mean, and I live in a pretty, humid climate, so
yeah,
it doesn't hurt to have something that's corrosion resistant, but it's not really necessary unless you leave something on the side of the road.
Yeah, of
or
course.
drop it on the side of the road over the weekend
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something. Which
yeah. Something falls out of your pocket when you get out of a work truck or something, right?
yeah, yeah. And that was another one that I was like, oh shit, it's an exclusive. I should get it. Oh my god, I did get it. What a dumbass buy. I hate bug out. I
No,
still do.
really?
I still, man. As soon as I don't know, it was just maybe
Well,
it's
it's because
just
I got it and I said it was orange and you would love it.
yeah. Well, no, it was because I was for some reason I was starting to collect orange things, and I was like, ooh, I should get that. And I
Yeah.
was like, and as soon as I got it, I was like, shit, I don't like bug outs. Like every time I've tried one, even the bailout, I didn't really care for, you know?
What aspect bothers you?
Um, it's hard to explain. I mean,
Like
I
if
just don't like the way it feels on
yeah,
hand.
like it's probably not the scales because of all people you can replace the scales,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I think it's the edge geometry more than anything.
People have had issues with that,
I
but
just,
I still find it's a hell of a slicer. Like, I mean, all week long I
yeah,
carry this and I still carry it when I come home. Like, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, it's good for like cutting straps and, things of that nature. And I mean, I'm sure, a few other things, but I don't know. It's just like for the thinner profile, I don't know.
It
Not
it
a
just
fan.
didn't live up to the hype either for you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And honestly, Benchmade's been one of the big ones because every
Yeah,
time it's like the definition of insanity. Every time I get one, I'm expecting it to be better, and I'm just like, it's still just going to be, a Benchmade,
that's
and
right.
and I don't give them enough time to break in, and I just don't carry them enough, and I just really don't like the blade shape on this one. And either of
Is
those
that
two,
that's the Mini Presidio 2, is it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
what with the
That wasn't a
carbon
bad one.
fiber,
I had the M4 Shot Show one the other year and I
yeah,
liked it, but I didn't love it.
yeah. And I mean, and it's funny because, and talk about impulsive, I was already wanting to get the shootout, and I was like,
Mm,
but then I was like, every time, like I end up doing this, and I was like, screw that, I'm not buying that, and I just had to convince myself that there was something else that I wanted more,
yeah.
which ended up being the Brian Brown Jaeger M that I just bought the other day on the, there were a
That's what
few.
inspired the episode, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, but but that one's not really as much of an impulse buy, I don't think, because I think as well. I've been after that one for a little bit. It's
Yep.
kind of like Roosevelt was,
Yep.
but let's hope it lives up to the hype like the Roosevelt did, because the
Well,
Rose,
that's the other thing. You're on a hype train on that one too, so hopefully it actually
yeah,
carries to working, right?
yeah. But and like speaking of stuff like that, and I don't have my Roosevelt right here with me, and it's funny because I'll send you a picture or I'll show it to you later. Big scratch across the back of it, big mark across the clip.
Hey, why not, man? You got a great knife that you want to use.
Yeah,
That's the
well,
way
I
to
mean,
do it, man.
I
It
was
doesn't
using
matter how
it.
much it's worth.
Yeah, I was using it, and I was taking stuff out of my pockets, and I threw it on the bed, and then threw my flashlight like directly on top of it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that'll
you
do it.
know, whenever it comes to a $150 flashlight or a $700 knife, maybe Nerf needs to get into the flashlight business. Anyway, there'll be some
Have
hype
some
around that
protectors
too.
for it. We need otter boxes for our $700 knives.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot that I think this was one that there was a lot of hype around it, and there was actually a lot of controversy around it too. The Rayot tribute, well, not really,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
really this one as much as the Bushido, but
Yeah.
I had the Bushido as well. But both of these knives definitely live up to the hype.
What's
This
up,
is
Everyday Carry? Sorry, we got another tuning in.
oh, you're all good.
We're just enjoying the weather, my man.
This guy here, if you want something that's classic, just a classic style with upgraded materials, it's a really
That
good knife.
that's a big thing nowadays too. I know everybody's going traditional, but it's because you're getting tried and true patterns,
Yeah, yeah,
great users, but with the upgraded materials.
yeah, yeah. And this one,
And that's a big selling point for me. Like, I like that. That's why I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'll buy that proper with the S90V. I'll buy. Oh, by the way, that's for sale. I'll buy these upgraded materials of a pattern that is great,
yeah,
and that's a big thing in today now as well. You know.
yeah. And that was one of the reasons I got this, was because it was one of the first that I had seen that was actually affordable, that had zirconium bolsters.
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool, because who doesn't like zirconium? It's a cool material. But again, probably just more hype. I mean, people can hype up anything,
I forgot that was you, Brandon. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
the a lot of these. I mean,
yeah,
the tactical turn seasonal. That's not really an impulse buy, I guess. Well, I guess it is, because I don't really need that many pins. But sometimes stuff like that's apocalyptic currency.
Well, you never know, right?
Shit hits the fan. I can probably trade that for some food or something. But
you never know, right? Suddenly you need a new car. You've got a stash of pens that might get you one. Yeah. Even that, right? You never know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, honestly, most of the things I do buy are impulse buys. My first nice knife purchase, I forced myself to do so that I would be able to spend more money on knives, because I wanted nicer knives.
Right.
And it was this guy.
Oh yeah.
Whatever it is, Spider Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the damaged steel.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
And it's one that I kind of baby, I mean, I'll use it, but I kind of baby it a little bit. It doesn't get hard use.
Brandon here giving you the apocalyptic trade here, bro. You gonna accept or what? He says, I'll give you a can of beans and a box of Uncle Ben's for the pen. You know what? If it comes down to it, it could be. It could be.
Yeah. He might not be able to leave that deal on the table per se for too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I am an impulsive buyer. I need to work on that. But
so do you find in that sense the hype train influences you at all?
Sometimes, yeah. But I do follow innovations and trends pretty close. Like the Rayon XO, I knew this was coming out, for a good while. And it was highly anticipated. But it lived up to the hype. I mean, it's a very smooth knife. It's a very good knife. It's kind of crazy, and it's just one of those things. Go ahead.
Mark chimed in, don't trade for beans if you haven't stocked up on toilet paper.
No.
Hey, if it's apocalyptic times, I don't think you care about going down to the river to wash your butthole out.
No. You're trading it for cans of evaporated milk or something. But yeah, I mean, a lot of them, and just like we were talking, the one that's coming out Tuesday, and I don't even, and honestly, like, it makes me anxious to even mention it, because it's like, oh, what if one of these guys end up getting one and I can't? The Factor that's made by Winter Blade, that's dropping Tuesday, the magnetic detent, and it's got M-lock, like the magnetic axis lock, and all rare earth magnet. It's pretty cool technology. I've been waiting for it for a while, and hopefully I'll get a chance to get one of those, and hopefully that'll be the last purchase before Blade Show.
Right.
It's only like 2 days apart, so
we'll have to see. By the way, everybody, I'm going to be getting some exclusive coverage from Blade Show this year. Mr. Riley's headed down there, and we're hoping to get some videos up on the channel here. An IBEDC. I did throw up a post there that I was trying to encourage people to say what makers, what kind of things do you want to see, or who do you want to talk to. I mean, feel free to chime in and throw it in there. We want to hit it up in advance to see what you guys want to see. So for sure, find the post. I put it the other day there, and let us know, man. Gonna say a little bit jealous. I'm gonna be stuck in that hot, shitty truck all week, and Riley's over here playing with knives.
Let's hope I can get to the table. You know how that goes. But
Yeah.
you also know how I am. If I can, I don't know. I'm pretty resilient. I can get out
We'll
there
have
and
some
look for the
exclusive
best things. So
coverages, guys. Don't worry.
yeah, we'll figure some stuff out.
So
I
you
know
throw you
some
throw the
people.
makers and brands you want to hear about. No Spyderco. Okay, that's a rule.
Yeah.
Riley's not a big fan, so he'll hit some tables and find out what they got coming down the pipe.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong. If Spider Code looks like, I'm lying. I'm completely lying. That's not even
Hey,
right.
what happens if they're
I
coming
can't.
out with a Smock 2.0 and you like the Smock?
I
You can't
do.
say you don't like any
I
of them.
do.
It interests you. So
Yeah. And if it wasn't for the, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm trying my best to like, and I know it sounds weird, and my wife's like, you're just weird. The reason I got the Jaeger is so that I wouldn't have to try and fight to get to Brian Brown's table to end up buying something that's going to end up being twice as much money. And
right.
I haven't even had a chance to try the production model.
Yeah.
And
Give you a taste.
yeah, so I mean, and that's another one that I don't, and just like the Roosevelt, I'll tell you straight up, I'm not going to run over there unless I feel like I need the money,
Right.
because it would be I would turn around and sell it. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and not that and that's the thing, like the secondary on that is just insane. I don't, as
Oh
far as like that's concerned, like they're not worth $1,500. I mean, Daniel
no, but
does,
those guys will impulse buy them at that price.
yeah, and I mean
Fear of missing out, buddy.
yeah, that's a bit much for me. And I just, again, I'm a little resilient. I just stuck with the lotto. It took me a long time, probably almost close to a year or so, that
Yep.
I was entering those silly lottos and ended up hitting one.
Yep.
But I wasn't going to pay twice as much for something that didn't, I don't want to pay somebody more than the maker made.
Well,
You
that's
know what
right.
I'm saying? I
Yep.
just don't really. I don't know. I guess it's an ethical thing.
Honestly, the secondary has to cool its jets. I mean, I'm selling all my stuff, and some of this stuff is
Yeah.
brand new, but I'm still cutting big discounts, right?
Yeah, I think anything that he makes, it should come out at rock bottom at $1,000.
Yeah.
Because if secondary is going to make that much money off of him, he should go ahead and. I mean, I'm sure that would be an unpopular opinion, but
But makers do that as well.
yeah,
Makers will do that, right?
yeah. I mean, it's not like the price of steel's going down, so
No.
we know everything's going up. So I mean, it's going to get more expensive. So I mean, knives in. I mean, they're going to get more expensive, I'm sure. Especially with innovation,
Yeah.
which I don't. I wish I'd still have, what you call it? But you got it. Or I don't know if you still have it. The Buck
What?
Marksman?
Yep. I still got her. I don't have it on me.
And that was
She's upstairs under plastic. I ain't going nowhere. Are you kidding me?
yeah, that one to me was almost more hype than anything. And the fact of that I was in Canada and people were like, you can't get that here. And I was like, now I want one.
Right.
Why you tell me I can't have something, and I don't see any reason why I can't, and I did.
Yep.
So but that's a cool knife and a very good lock, and it lived up to the hype, I think, for me.
Yeah, it really did, and there's people that still lust over it, and myself included, for different versions, right?
Yeah, and they should really just continue to make it. There's
Yep.
a lot of things that that they just, I don't know. I just don't understand how the knife companies lose so much touch between, the people.
There was a buck of the month version of it they did last year.
Yeah.
And I think they did it in May or something, so it's a stupid Star Wars theme, like black blade, white G10 or something.
Yeah.
So they did do another version. I don't care. Regardless, I would have grabbed it if I'd known anyway. Yeah. But that is true. It seems that the makers and the brands just sometimes they don't see what we see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think in a way, it's almost like my brain is smart enough to create its own hype around something, because I pay such close attention, and it's like the closer it gets, I feel like the more people are finding out.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
It sounds silly now, but whenever this guy, and I have it anodized from a friend, John Ouellette, but whenever this knife first came out, they had talked so much about it. I was like, people have to be as excited as I am.
Yeah, the Luna is unbelievable.
And I ran out and bought one, and and then it was just, you can still get these.
Yep.
But like, I had it as soon as it was released. I had to have it. But it turned out again to be one of those good things. And sometimes it's like that, and sometimes it's not. But that's the thing. If you let it get to you, if you let like the fear of missing out get to you, then you're pretty much gambling.
Yeah.
Especially with any kind of impulsive buy. Honestly, you're gambling with something that you actually want and something that you think you want for some reason.
That's right. You got to make a decision somewhere. It's like if you can sit there and look at it for 2 days and go, I really like that. I like that a lot. Or it's something that I'm going to love regardless, right? You really start having a fight with your own head.
Something that I learned to do, and I can't remember who told me about this, because it absolutely is not my idea, because it's, a little above me to think this way. But a guy told me, he was like, imagine that someone is giving you a gift. Either they're giving you the knife or they're giving you the price of the knife. Which one would you take?
Right.
If you take the money, then you need to save your money.
Well, that's right. Yeah. You
don't want the knife as much as you want the money. So, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart. So I usually run that through my head whenever I'm making a purchase a lot of times.
Well, yeah, especially on higher end stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to spend $600 on a knife, you got to see, would I rather spend that $600 on a couple different ones, or is that the one that I could definitely fall in love with?
Yeah.
Right.
And see, I've realized anything budget, I usually end up just beating the crap out of.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do sharpen and reuse and sharpen and reuse. This is another one that a lot of hype was around. It was a good knife. I mean, it is a good knife. Not the greatest knife, but I mean, it was just the Richard Rogers OEM Slim, or whatever, Slim Utility, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, the slut.
Yeah.
They called it the slut.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a good knife, super light. This is actually, I've been thinking this is probably going to end up being my summer carry. Because it's, me, man. I like the more basic stuff to actually carry. Monotone.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this is going to be my summer carry, because honestly, it weighed just a tad more than the bug out. Not that much more. Not that I'm gonna feel anyway. And it's not like I'm running around with basketball shorts on. So.
Yep.
But yeah, there was a lot of hype around that one, and I finally ended up getting one, and then I ended up getting two, and I was like, well, there's no point in having two, so I just sold one to a friend.
Well, there you go, right?
A lot of hype around this one.
In the
Protect Malibu.
Yeah, right. Yep.
It's a good knife. It's a little heavy. I mean, I don't know. It's a little more. I mean, it fits in my hand good. It's I like it. I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm just not.
You're not in love with it, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You've had it for a bit. You're not in love, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I thought I would like it more than I do, and other than sitting here doing this, I'm not really fidgety with my knives for the most part.
That's right.
I usually just, they're in my pocket until they need to be used, and then they're put back away. And, there was a lot of hype around. I think I might have already shown this little guy.
No.
It's the WE Anodyne.
WE gets a lot of hype train going on for their models.
This one's a couple years old. This was one of 85. It's a fully integral.
Yeah, it's made from one billet, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's freaking it's tiny.
Yeah,
it's just insane that they can even get in there. I mean, look how big the pivot, the pivot screw looks in comparison.
Yeah,
it almost makes it.
That's a small one. That's a small boy.
Yeah, and the reason I got it, I think in my head is I was like, I thought to myself, if I could go back to my childhood and I could choose a pocket knife that is in the world today, what would I choose? And it was this.
Oh yeah.
As a kid, would you not have freaked out to get something like that?
Oh yeah.
Like not even knowing what the materials are, just with it
how
all
neat it is.
anodized and shit, you lose your shit. You know,
Yeah.
and it was just, I don't know. To me, it reminded me of like, I don't know, maybe like what a rich kid would have these days. You know, like a like a rich 8-year-old,
or an old fart with a couple dollars in his pocket, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, and again, I mean, I like it. It's a cool knife. I don't carry it because it's literally just too small.
Yeah, but it's something that you really like. You know, it's something that you're like, I like this in my collection. I would never move it, right?
There's a lot of impulse with this one. And this one was an adventure because I ordered this when I was in Canada, and the package never made it to me. And then the owner, who everybody said was a jerk, and let me just say, the guy that runs this company is not a jerk. I can assure you of that, because he actually sent me a brand new knife. And a year later, the other one showed up. Because Canada Post had it under a table or something for a year, literally a year, almost to the day.
It's unbelievable.
But me and him had made an agreement that I would sell the knife, and then I would give the money to charity, split half between animals, for animals, and the other half for police, because Boost Blades, he's a fan of dogs, and his brother is actually a police officer. So.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Why not?
Yeah, and but it was a lot of hype around it, and it was an impulse thing for me back then, because I was like, man, it was a lot of money. I think they were $200 originally.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. The Boost Blade Mini Smoke. Sorry, but yeah, I still like it. It's another one that I carry in the summertime, in lighter shorts and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, there's been a few. I mean, but again, you gamble with.
That's 100%. You gamble with hype if it's not a tried and true model with a new iteration. You gamble when it's impulse in general.
Yeah.
It is the community ends up turning into a casino almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we all, like feel our way through this hobby. It's like, you gotta grow and figure out where, just like where your most comfortable place is in it. I think a big part of me just looking at this in front of me is like telling me that I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these knives I absolutely love, but I was like, like this guy, and this was not hyped. It was a little bit.
It was pretty silent from my recollection.
Yeah,
it's not as big. It wasn't hyped up like a Wii knife or nothing. It's just the Buck Legacy 2021.
Yeah, and see, to me, anything that Buck does like out of the ordinary, like giving you a knife you can take apart, that's a 110 or a 112, is, for them, it's revolutionary.
It's showing they listen to the community, though.
Yeah, because people don't. I mean, but that's the thing, and that's kind of the point, though. That I think people are just losing the point. Is, does it really? Do you always need to be able to take a knife apart?
That's right.
Or are there certain constructions where you just really, that you're better off without it?
I don't remember the last time I've disassembled a knife to clean it.
Yeah. I mean, just like a friction folder. You can't have you're not going to want something you can take apart. I mean, I'm sure they exist. I haven't really paid much attention to the friction folder world.
Not a big fan.
Yeah.
We've got an excellent comment here. Look at this. Really paying attention to the show. You guys' beards are on point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you just joined us, we're talking the hype train and the impulse buys. We are on mobile today. My computer room's under a little bit of construction, so I can't use the laptop. So it is a little bit harder to interact more. So just bear with us. We're doing our thing today, enjoying the weather out here. Oh, hey, Drew. Thanks, buddy. Glad to see you come out, man. Anyway, yeah, with the Buck listening, they've come a long way within the last couple of years, because I got the Buck Pro Sport, which is like the 110, but it's got my Carta scales, and it's everything come apart. I can make my own scales for it if I want. Super nice. I absolutely love that thing. That's not for sale, by the way. There's a handful that aren't for sale, but most of my stuff is going bye. Hey, John, glad to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining. But yeah, with the oh, well, that's not necessarily impulse, and that's not going anywhere. You know that. You couldn't even say that would go somewhere. You know me. I would not be moving a damn M4 Sherman. You got to be kidding me. That was a gift from a beautiful lady that I very much respect. Gifts aren't going bye-bye. Don't worry. But to anybody else, a lot of my collection is going bye-bye. If you've seen some stuff I've carried and wondered, shoot me a message on Facebook or wherever.
Yeah, and then he's gonna sell everything, and then he's gonna revamp his collection and come back with almost the same shit.
No, last time I did this a little while ago, and it was because I wanted the money or something, right? I'm kind of over some of the knife makers and stuff right now, so I'm just kind of moving along, and I'm happy with a couple models, right, that I really enjoy using. So when I did that originally, my collection, I wasn't as happy when I rebuilt it differently. I moved a couple ones that I really enjoyed, and it happened. But right now, I'm just kind of, I'm saving myself for some special ones that come around, like a sprint run of something, or
sprint run.
Yeah, whatever. You get a different limited bug out or whatever, and this, that, and the other.
Well,
Drew. Unfortunately, that little M4 Python is up for sale right now. I just was able to move the copper Rex 45 one. So, unfortunately, I'm moving on from the little native. She doesn't get the use, but the full sizes are still pretty much sticking around. Speaking of my impulse buy, was this bloody carbon fiber S90V native. I was just like, oh, I have a lot of money sitting there. I'm going to spend it all on the goddamn native. And I did. And yeah, the scales are nice. I might blade swap if it doesn't sell as is. Put the Crewwear M4 or something in here. I don't know. We'll see. But that was an impulse buy for me. Same as the Espada XL, which is also for sale, even though I hope it kind of doesn't move.
I have an impulse buy that you were actually a witness of. I'm sure you remember.
Oh yeah. The little, yep. That's a fun one though.
Yeah, it is fun, and I still use it. But that was a total impulse buy, because I was like, "Holy shit! I'm back in South Carolina. I want an automatic." Like
I take the guy down to SC, and it's not even 24 hours, and we go to the knife store, and immediately he's like the little Kershaw launch there, Hawkbill. It was so funny.
I mean, but it's got a super strong spring in it though.
They are so obtainable, and you know what? That's a budget impulse buy, and so you can't even poo-poo it too much, because hell of a snap, 154 CM steel, they're great automatics.
Yeah, that's just like the run. I mean, if you can have automatics,
yep,
that's great. I mean, that's under 150 bucks.
That fired out so fast.
Oh yeah, I mean, and ProTech, honestly, ProTech and Kershaw, like they're the only two that are comparable to each other in hand, like with the power of the spring in it.
Well, yes, and I've noticed that as well. Playing with some in the States there,
that
ProTech cares about that power spring, whereas on some of the Benchmates they made an Auto Adamas, and I'm like, that blade weighs 8 pounds, and it shoots out and it goes, That little Benchmade right there, though, Benchmade made that same one, and ProTech did that same one, and they're great.
Yeah.
Those are nice looking ones. Yeah, they're almost the same deal. Almost the same. I think the ProTech was a little bit better in my recollection, because the shop had both.
A lot different because the softness of this is just I mean,
yeah, the ProTech is a
yeah,
big snap.
yeah, and I think for Benchmade, I think they tried to go more the elegance kind of route.
It's
More the
almost the same.
Japanese
It's
route.
almost the same looking knife though.
Yeah.
It's very, very
Oh,
similar. ProTech is very similar. Oh, hey, we've got a comment. Been thinking of getting a Berg Blade Slim Mini. Do you know this one? I've heard
I
of Berg Blade. I don't know the Slim Mini though.
yeah. I mean, I think I've seen them. I'm not sure if he's talking about the little cleaver style of the one that is like reminiscent of the Runt kind of. Um,
Hmm.
I have seen them. I've never handled one. Maybe something for me to look at Blade Show.
Hey, that's another thing. An IBEDC for everybody join. Yeah, he says it's the little cleaver one.
Yeah,
Anybody wanting to see something from specific makers or dealers or brands? Riley here is going to Blade Show. So get your comments in on the thread there, and he'll jot them down. And we're gonna try to get some videos up on the channel here on YouTube, and we'll share them around on Facebook there, and try to get some things that you guys would like to see, some makers and stuff. Behind the scenes, Blade Show, 2022.
no.
Sorry, I'm just reiterating. We keep getting people popping in and out.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just sitting here thinking about.
I've got an impulse buy where I bought the El Cheapo version first, and I kind of fell in love. So it threw me on. I got the M390 black one, and finally settled on the 20 CV olive drab metal aluminum scale Link.
Yeah,
the Kershaw Link is just, it's one of those knives for me that I really enjoy how it fits in the big honking hand, and it just hits the spots for me. Lots of big belly on there, so it's a real nice sweeping cut. So that was an impulse buy that started with the cheapo one that trailed me on to get the bigger and better, right?
Oh yeah. And see, that's another good thing about we've already discussed that many times. Kershaw being somewhere where you can get the same thing but in better styles.
Yeah, even the last show we talked about him, bringing out Kershaw with all the different options, right? And you can impulse buy the budget stuff all you want, and then boom, you can move your way up. And again, Drew Kershaw was his first love. It was, I think, Riley. And I mean, I found it really early in my experience as well, and I really liked them as well, right? Kershaw is a real stand-up company for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as soon as I was more or less buying my own knives, I was going to Kershaw. But before that, it was Buck. Just given the surroundings.
You know what? A lot of them in the Kershaw's little higher end stuff, they push that USA made, and I feel nice buying that. Yeah. I'm not American, but I really enjoy buying the US made knives from the companies that are out there that do it. Nothing against Kershaw's budget line. I've been through the lineup. I mean, the original smaller Lynx. No, they were made in the States too. They were made in the States. 428C. It wasn't great, but even their China stuff, like I've purchased, and it's good. But yeah, USA made, something about that, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like the in-house designs.
Yep.
We both kind of dig the in-house designs and stuff like that.
Yeah, Kershaw's in-house, or some of them are excellent.
Yeah. And
the Dividend, the Blur.
Yeah.
Blur's Canadian. I keep going back to that one. That's Canadian.
Yeah, you keep saying that. I remember
the Link, the Blur, yep. Knockout.
Yeah. Funny thing, a long time ago, whenever I first got into, but whenever I first just started exploring steels, I guess there was a lot of hype around this knife, like a long time ago. I don't know if you remember.
Tucson.
Yeah, the Tucson TS90.
And that one is that M390 or S90V?
Yeah, S90V.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a thing on that one.
Yeah, the Tepe designs. And there was a lot of hype around this. And I think a lot of it has to do with, there are certain YouTubers that people watch and they can actually build, a lot of hype around a name. So, I mean, at the time, that's what kind of made me realize, what's up?
No, it was. They love how Kershaw came out with different steels and a little bit better price point. And we mentioned that on the other show. It's so smart of them. Sorry, so continue.
Yeah, it's they can corner a lot more areas of the market. So
that's right.
They can get their hands in all four corners. If you look at the stats, man, in all honesty, I'm sure you know this, but in America, at least, I know for sure the number one selling company is either Gerber and it's probably Gerber and
it's Gerber.
Kershaw probably right on their tail.
Well, yeah, whatever the ones, honestly, that you see at Walmart for about the $20 range are the hugest sellers, because people that don't know knives will still buy those to take and beat when they're camping, etc. And Gerber is probably one of the leading ones with that, because they just have the cheapy whatever. Even Buck has some real cheapy ones that I've seen, and Kershaw's.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
I mean,
and SOG, SOG has their hand in there too. Yes, it does.
The more accessible they are, the more they're going to sell.
That's right. And it introduces other people to the brand too. And you go, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know,
and
certain people want to explore.
Yeah. But yeah, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, even with, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's really necessarily hype per se. But I mean, usually there have been times where I've bought something just strictly because I heard the company was good and I actually liked the design, so I just gave it a shot. And I actually went after this knife for a long ass time, so it wasn't really an impulse buy. Wingman EDC Jure. And there were so many things I liked about it though. And I still love this knife. I like the shape of the blade, but the Lee Williams kickstop where the flipper tab disappears and it's not underneath, you know.
Right.
The Lee Williams kickstop, I think it's called. And I really got where I liked that. You know, it was almost, I don't know. It was just, at first I thought it was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's kind of not really a selling point, but like, you know, just something to, you know, like a little fad, something that was.
It's a neat little innovation that they threw onto something, right?
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense why he would want it to be that way. And I like makers that you can tell they make innovations because they're knife users.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That makes sense for a knife user. Because I try my best to use my knives. Well, not a lot, but I mean, I use them. You know, whatever fits my mood, that's what I grab. I don't.
That's right. Yeah, same.
You know, I got a bunch of patches that say Titanium Tuesday and all that stuff, but I don't adhere to that mess. I just carry whatever I feel like.
That's right. That's right.
Or whatever fits the task at hand. You know, I mean, like the other week, I mean, I was just carrying this yesterday, and I was doing yard work, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, nice, like this thing working good, like for digging in the dirt and stuff.
An all-rounder, right? You have an all-rounder.
And, you know, I mean, you know, I was back there cutting weeds with it. And I mean, it's like just hacking them. So, I mean, it's whatever's in my pocket, whatever I need it for, you know, I really love all different knives. I think there was a lot of hype around, and you're going to be like, oh, there's hype around everything they do. But
there is.
the giant mouth.
There is. Yep.
This guy, I think there was a little bit of hype. For me, there was, you know, finally scoring an actual GM was like and that's the thing. A lot of times for me, and if you start doing shit like that, like chasing something, just know a lot of times that old saying goes into effect. The thrill of the chase.
That's right.
Not a lot of times it's you know, the lemon ain't really worth the squeeze.
That's a good way to put it on some of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, and not saying that that's not a great knife, because it is. I like it,
but it's just in general when it comes to this, right? As we're saying, you do the impulse, and sometimes it doesn't live up to your expectations or what you expect out of a knife, right? If you're a collector, it's a different story. You know, a collector or a flipper, they don't care.
Yeah.
But if you're using it, sometimes you set expectations. You're like, it's going to be so good, and Drew's all about the giant mouse as well. He does love them.
Yeah. And it's that chase. You know, it's that chase. It's because there's only 400 of each of every model they make. There's 400. 100 are pirates. The other 300 are the standard version, like I just had. That's the GMA, by the way, if anybody didn't know. Sorry.
That's okay.
But that was,
let them know.
You know, I mean, I don't know what number it is that's inside of it, but this is one of 300, and the pirate version is one of 400. 171. This is number 171. And it's a cool idea. It's like 25% powered. It's just, and it's to me, it's more marketing than it is anything. And I kind of like the way Giant Mouse does their marketing. I like pirates. I think they're fucking cool. And it's just kind of, the whole Viking and Denmark and, the whole, I like it. I think it's a cool idea. I'm not
suits the brand.
Yeah. I'm not a fanboy of anything. And the first knife I got from them was this, and it was a lot of hype, but it's actually clean. That's crazy. I must have cleaned it off. This thing get the absolute crap beat out of it, and I hadn't sharpened it in a while. And you can really tell because I beat the shit out of it. But they're great user knives, and I know, even this guy, there was a lot of hype around the Clyde when it first came out. I actually bought this off of a YouTuber, geared towards gear, a guy named Sean. Nice guy, but I bought this off of him because I wanted one so bad, and I just used it and used it and used it and used it, and for some reason I just put it in the case and never really messed with it that much. But yeah, there's a lot of hype around things, and a lot of times it pays off, or it doesn't. It's either exactly what you wanted, rarely better.
Yeah.
It's rarely better because we have a tendency to kind of, to really want more than we should even expect out of our gear sometimes, or at least people like me. Not saying that.
It's true.
But I'm very impulsive, and I do, I'll just be like, oh shit, and if something's got a number on it, it's like, oh crap, my Damascus, where's that? I don't even know. My Damascus Luna.
Drew says he had the Tricarta Biblio, and it was the best detent he ever felt on a knife. It was just butter.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. And I don't know if the Biblio, I don't know if that was made in Italy or if it was made by Rayon. But either way, like their knobs are usually, I haven't had a lot of quality control issues with them. And I even got this not that long ago because I was like, I just wanted to try, their interpretation of a slip joint.
Oh yeah,
it's a nice little knife though. It's a good little slip joint. Got a nice walk and talk to it.
Drew says the Tricarta one was Italy made.
Italy, yeah. And they have really good quality control there too. And even if Rayot does make them, they're still like top notch. Rayot does good quality control. Geography has nothing to do with quality.
They've really changed their game, right? China's really stepped it up.
But going back to what I was saying, I got this because I knew if I got it, it would be a low number, and this is like number 008. Because you remember all the Lunas were individually numbered.
Yeah.
And see, they knew people like me with OCD would want lower and lower numbers. So as soon as things came out, you jump on it and order it as fast as you can, you get a low number. Yeah.
That's right.
Hell, it was just like the whole thing with this guy. I tried like hell to get them close to the, one after another for the numbers. And they were like, we like purposely don't even send those to the same shipment places. Like they intentionally like mix them up really bad and ship them completely different areas so that they can't give people numbers that are in a row.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I don't know why they did that, but it was it didn't work. It didn't help my plans or our plans at all. So.
That's all right.
Yeah. But, it's risk versus reward with just about anything in life. And shit like this is no different.
Yeah, our community is no different, right?
Yep. And just like the pouch that everybody loves, they're nice. But again, wait until somebody will sell you one at a fair deal or try to get one offline. They are nice, but they're not worth secondary. They're just not.
Well, that's it. A lot of things are.
And it is cool, they got the Velcro on it and stuff like that, and it's I think that's probably not really got that much other than a little bit of first aid stuff, a little tiny flashlight, just in case.
Yep.
A couple of stop bleed kits. But again, I'm just not that person. I guess maybe I'm old fashioned, and if somebody sets a price, then that's price. And I mean, I have sold things over price. I have. I mean, not all that long ago, I did. But if the guy was still super pleased, so we won't go into that. But and that was another one that it was like hype. I wanted that knife, and then I was like, oh, I want to sell this knife.
Yeah, the Something Obscene company has a huge following like that, right?
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I just don't have time for it right now. I got things going on. I'm about to move to a different country. I'll just let it sit in the case. It'll be fine. And then next thing you know, secondary goes up to like $600, $700, and I'm like, bullshit, sold. Like, like if you want it, man, like I needed to sell it in. What am I supposed to do? Tell them no. You have to keep the extra money. Like I mean, the guy was like,
no, thank you. That's
pleased.
too much money.
Yeah, he was pleased as punch whenever with the price. And but it's just like if I sold my Roseville, I could get $1,200-$1,300, even though I just said I threw a flashlight on it, and somebody could see that and he'd still be like, I'll still give you $1,300 for it. I mean, in a heartbeat. And that's just, to me, it's just like that's whenever you, dare I say, you might want to do some self-examination, because then it might actually be becoming a problem. Not all therapy ends with add to cart.
Well, that's it, right? What do you do when you're sad? Add knife to cart.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. And you know what the funny thing is? Like, I screw with myself so bad about it, because I'll leave something in my cart and they'll email me, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm not even paying attention to it. And then I'll go back to the site like a week later and it's still sitting in my cart, and I'm like, shit. I really want to buy it. And like, and I don't know. A lot of times I end up with, knives that, I mean, and like this one, and it wasn't hype, but somebody mentioned it and I was like, hey, let me go check it out. And I was like, holy shit, like it's only $80.
I was not impressed when I got that one in hand.
Yeah, I mean, but it's okay. I don't like the blade getting bigger near the end. I don't really care for that.
Wasn't impressed in hand.
Yeah. It really feels too light, and the handle's too slim.
That's what I traded to get the 20 CV link. I was just like, yeah, it's about the same money here, so just give me that 20 CV link and we'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm really weird. Like I don't even know. Most knives I end up selling, I really try. Like if I sold something, it's either barely used and something that I never really planned to use. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see me sell something and it says like new in box, it's because I'm lazy. A lot of things I've wanted to sell and I just never got around to it. It's like making a post and going through all that crap. It's like there's no point. And I mean, it's not that I don't like them. It's just some of them are a little bit high end, and now I'm at the point where I'd almost rather have something else instead. Because sometimes, and that's a bad thing about it. You'll buy something in an impulse, and then it'll sit there for a little while. And with somebody that has a collection like me, I can go a long time without ever touching one of these knives. I mean, like, and go through other knives and still never touch that knife. And if it doesn't, I know it's kind of weird, but if it doesn't get out of the case into my pocket after a certain amount of time, then
what's the point?
It's probably going to sit there and it's going to eventually be sold. Because there's been a few that I'm like, I really, really like that. I really like that. And then I get it and I'm like, shit. Like it just, not even like that. I just, it gets to the point where I just don't, the newness wore off of it. And I'm like, and then it just sits there and I'm like, why do I have this? I don't carry it. And a lot of things like that, they're just too colorful. And I feel like everything I put together, nothing matches. And I've got such bad OCD with things like that. And, so it just causes more anxiety for me. So I just kind of let the one impulse be, and then I try to deal with it later by selling it.
Right. No, it happens, right?
Yeah, it does sometimes. But luckily I haven't been burned too very badly. But
Yeah.
and again, and absolutely nothing against the guy, that makes this knife. He's highly talented man. But it's just I should have paid attention to specs. It's not really for me. And I carry it kind of as a lesson. Like you need to look and see if knives are too small for you or not.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why sometimes going to the brick and mortar store can be a money saver.
yeah,
If you
and
can,
and to me that's a good thing about getting to go to Blade Show finally. A lot of these knives I can literally, of course, ask first and then pick up the knife and feel what everybody's been talking about and see if it's as people like I've never there are a few that like in the probably the second day or so that I'll probably try to go see, just people that I've always kind of been interested in, but just like, do they actually live up to the hype? Like the chamois.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to feel like a custom chamois, just check it out. I don't think that and of course I'll be respectful, but I don't think that it's anything that's like my style to pay that much for. um I'm honestly, I don't know if I've even told you, but I'm honestly going to try my best to get a Jason Guthrie Scout 2.0 in the
Yeah,
Warren foot.
yeah, you mentioned that. Yep.
That's what I want. And honestly, that's the only thing I'm going for. So hopefully, with that being said, I might be able to get one. Like that's the only thing I've actually got my kind. That's what I have my sights set on, and I don't
Right.
really have my heart set on anything else because.
But that's at least
Whatever.
you got something laid out, right? You're not just going to spend a bunch of money on whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And see that's the thing. Like I wanted, and that was the thing. It was the whole thing with Brian Brown. I mean, there's a lot of companies that I'd like to go meet. I mean, like the people from many companies, Rayot, freaking Odds Company. All the people that I actually use. I mean, and go to the Buck Table and a few others that have been mentioned that I'm like, I want to look more into a few things. And there's going to be I mean, there's going to be so many people there. It's overwhelming. Like in my head already. Like there's a lot of friggin' people there.
It's
Like
going to be cool. It's going to be
yeah.
cool. You have to be like official business. I'm going to interview you for the Knivesmen. Maybe you've heard of us.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be all the knife stores and stuff like that too. Knife Center and all of them will be there. I'm
That's
sure.
it. You gotta plug the channel there. See if you get them following.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I can. How does Knife Center even? That's what I don't understand. I guess they're there more for interviews than they are for anything else. Because I mean, I'm just wondering, like, how do they go there and sell knives for the makers and like be not necessarily competitive, but I mean, people are just as good to buy online. So
They might have some deals on normal stock and stuff. You never know, right?
I got to think about an exclusive the other day. My Fox. What the hell is it? The damn little finger safe knife. What the hell's the name of it? Silly knife.
Yeah, the bolt, that one with the
Radius.
radius lock.
Yeah, the radius lock.
Yeah.
They sent me a notification for a little dagger, the Saturn, with that same mechanism on it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's only like a 2.5-inch blade. And I'm like,
that's tiny.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that would be a little more difficult to manipulate. I mean, not that I have any issues with my hands, just it would seem like it would be a lot smaller of a radius on a small knife.
To try to be able to hold the handle properly and to get that button to the post to move, right?
Yeah, and we all have those things that we just don't, that we don't necessarily like. I've never owned a dagger. I don't really see the point in them. I think they're a little, for people. I'm a little more careless. Like I've actually opened a damn CRKT minimalist cleaver upside down, and
and now it lives in a lake.
Huh? What?
Now it lives in a lake.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was like, man, fuck this little bastard. Like, it's just not. But yeah, it was sharp as shit. I don't even know where I was going with that. Now I'm thinking about my thumb being sliced. Because that was actually kind of bad. Not real bad, but it was bad enough. To not have another little tiny ass fixed blade like that. Small blades are dangerous for me, and especially a dagger. Like I would end up cutting my thumb because I've got such a habit of putting my thumb on the spine of a knife. I just know I would do it with a dagger.
Yep,
It's
I would too.
It's just like a balisong knife. It just doesn't make sense for me to play with one.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I don't have the dexterity to.
I had one
very
when I was
basic
a kid.
moves.
Yeah, my dad gave us an old doled out one when we were kids, and we didn't really get into it. We didn't really like it, so it just, I don't know. I guess once you try it that young, it's just like, yeah, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, nobody cares. But I mean, and they're not really. I mean, I rarely ever like. I don't know. I guess the whole butterfly knife thing is like you either you either flip them or you just don't carry them.
Well, yeah, right.
They're not for carrying.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're less in my thought for use and more just to play with and do cool tricks.
Yeah. Like a fidget toy that can bite you, pretty much.
That's right. So you got the little risk involved, which is fun, right?
It's just funny. It just kind of dawned on me that I never really thought about butterfly knives. I mean, I don't know. Like I've never really thought about them. I mean, of course, I wouldn't buy one. I don't have great vision. I would end up slicing my finger off. I mean, I think my dad just taught us too many lessons. Like, like y'all want to do something dangerous? Here, go play with these wood nunchucks.
There you go, right?
And next thing you know, like hit yourself in the back of the head or some shit, or
you're gonna sack yourself, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, that's how we were taught to be careful as kids, I think. Or be back when the lights come on and don't step on snakes.
That's right.
Kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know why I went off on that. But yeah, probably because I went into the whole thing of daggers. I think that daggers make me nervous. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. Because they're just, I don't know. They're a little too menacing for my taste.
It doesn't make me nervous. It's just I don't need a secondary blade. I'm never going to have something where I would use that. And I don't say knives are self-defense at all. Like, I mean, it's not used in the same sentence for me ever.
No, would be that's a knife is a tool. I mean, we've all,
that's our theory on them, right? So
yeah, I mean, a knife is a tool. I use my knife every single day. I'm sure a lot of people use their pens more than they use their knives. I'm sure more people use their flashlight more than they use their pens. I mean, I use my flashlight a lot, but again, I have pretty bad vision, so a lot of times I have to light up the fucking situation so I can see what the hell's going on. So I always carry a light any time of day. As soon as I rise out of bed, it goes straight. And like as soon as I put pants on, it's in my pocket. Like I carry a light. Honestly, I would freak out more if I didn't have a light than if I didn't have a knife, because I could figure something out. I could go buy a razor knife or something.
But again, the EDC is personal to everybody, right?
Yeah, but the most detrimental for me is definitely the flashlight. I need to have one around. But yeah, what were we talking about again? Oh, impulsiveness. That's right. Yeah, like going off on tangents about nothing.
That was pretty impulsive. So there you go. There's another prime example.
And that goes into the whole thing that we were talking about. I mean, and it's usually in your personality, and I'm impulsive in a lot of ways. I've made a lot of rash decisions without thinking it through. So not really the best way to to collect knives. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
But you do live in the,
That's it. I mean, people evolve over time too, and I mean, I've kind of grown out of the impulsivity a bit, which is thank goodness for my bank account. But I don't know. I think we covered it pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah. And remember, you can always correct your impulse by selling it if need be. Because that's
one thing, especially if there's a lot of hype behind something, right? People want it.
And that's another good thing. If you're going to be an impulse buyer, be quick about it so you can get it, start to hate it, and sell it and still get your money back.
That's right.
If you're going to be impulsive, at least be smart about it, or try to.
If the women don't find you handsome, at least they'll find you handy, like red green. Exactly. So that's it. Be fast, right?
Oh yeah.
So again, just post the socials there. We're all over the place. IBEDC Facebook group and the unofficial Spyderco fan group. We're live and on Twitch and on the YouTube, and you can find us all over. And we do appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been fun outside, although it's more of a pain in the ass to get comments rolling here. But, we may do today. That room will be under construction probably for another couple of weeks, but you'll be blade showing. So do expect some cool stuff coming. And again, if anybody's got makers or brands they want to see on IBEDC, I did put the post there that we can beg Riley to get some behind the scenes coverage. So
and
we'll go from there.
Also, I think everybody knows that Blade Show is completely full of swag. So,
well, that too. We might have some extra swag that could be a giveaway or something. I don't know.
Little extra prize pack giveaway or something. Just
why not?
Blade Show swag and merch.
That's right. Could have a little something going there, right? You never know. That's fun. Yeah. A little fun. So, I say that's that. Let's cut it off. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We are the Knivesmen. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.